This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When send past the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Knicks winning streak is over. Ends at 5 as they lose a wild game to the Dallas Mavericks. The Knicks had to fight back all game long. They were never able to get over the hump. They gave up 74 points in the first half of the game. Julius Randle cut it to 6 almost by himself. No, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo in the third quarter cut it to 6. And then Dallas goes on another run, scores 10 straight points to take another 16-point lead. They have 101 points to end the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks go into the fourth. They go down by as many as 21 or 22, I think it was. But they continue to fight. They continue to battle. And somehow they make it back. And even down 13, 14 points with 4 or 5 minutes left, the Knicks are battling like it's a tight game, and they find a way to get it to 1. They get it to 121 to 120, and they cannot carom a rebound that would have gave them the ball with about 1 minute left to try to close out the basketball game, ladies and gentlemen. These rebounds in Dallas have a way of eluding us. You remember last year when we could not carom a rebound and Luka kills us, wins the game for him, sends it to overtime, whatever it was, I forgot. But we could not carom the rebound. And tonight, we could not bring in a key rebound to give us the ball with a chance to win. Instead, we lose 128 to 124. Ladies and gentlemen, the channel is demonetized. So if you're feeling bad for me because I'm hurting right now because we lost this game, feel free to make me feel a little bit better by hitting that Cash App, $ nothing but Knicks, or PayPal at paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. That information will be in the chat shortly, and it's also in the description of this video. I got Ron, I got Tony. Let's talk about it, man. Ron, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
I don't know, man. I'm just upset once again. And it's not about the fact that the Knicks lost the game. You know what I mean? Knicks are going to lose games. They ain't perfect. You know what I mean? Every team is going to lose. It's not about the fact that they lost the streak. It's about the fact that the Knicks did once again one of the things that they've been doing in losses this year. They come out the gate flat. They let these teams get out to big leads on them, and then they're fighting constantly for the rest of the game, trying to get close. It's like when you do that, especially this was a bad start, a really bad one.
Really bad
when
start.
you get down, when you get down this many points, it's just such a hurdle to try to get back into the game, because not only you got to stop the opposing team, you basically, you got to be clicking on all cylinders, and that's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah, and the thing is, they almost clicked on all cylinders to pull it out. You know, Greg, you're right. They should be donating to me for losing. I mean, Clyde was calling all game. Why are they not double teaming Kyrie? Why aren't they double teaming Kyrie? And I kind of knew that they were going to do it in the fourth, right? Tibbs always saves it for the fourth quarter. He never does it throughout the game or intermittently throughout the game. He always saves it for the fourth, always. Tony, your thoughts, your recap.
I mean, Ron kind of stole my thunder because I was gonna say the same exact thing. When we start the game off like that and it's an uphill battle, if we don't get back the game by the third quarter, we usually don't win the game. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And you know they eased the blow. You know what I mean? Because honestly, I was ready to come in here on fire just because of that point, the way they started the game.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, you know what I mean? They calmed my tempers by fighting and knowing that they actually had a shot to win. You know what I mean? It wasn't like some of them other losses where they fought back, but it was really out of their reach by the end of the game. Like this one was really within their reach. But yeah, you know what I mean? So it softened the blow, but we got to start the game strong because that really kills us. That really kills us. It's killed us all year.
Yeah.
And then like you always say, ending quarters.
Exactly.
Like starting quarters and ending quarters.
Yeah.
Because we always gonna fight back.
Yeah. Always gonna fight back. And in the third quarter, we went on a crazy run. And then we go cold for 5 minutes. It's
and
like
we're always gonna do that too.
Yeah, it's like okay, we got hot and we started knocking down some shots. But then we didn't understand how to, okay, we got the game under control. Now let's relax a little bit. We still kept like throwing up shots like we were still burning hot. Instead of saying, okay, well, we got the game under control now. Now let's battle this thing out. And instead, we were taking some bad shots and heat checks and things like that. You know what I mean? I think that's something we might have to learn. Like, how do we, all right, we made this run. Now, how do we get under, the run is over now. Like, realizing that the run is over, now we just got to be composed. You know what I mean? And then, of course, Kyrie was just doing Kyrie stuff tonight. 43 points for Kyrie. 44 points?
44.
44 points?
44, and I think, 31 for Hardaway
44.
off the bench?
Yeah,
30. No, he started.
He started tonight. But, yeah, Kyrie did Kyrie things, but it really did come down to not being able to carry him a rebound. Not being able to grab that rebound, man.
3 rebounds.
3 rebounds, excuse me. 3 chances. The ball did jump some crazy ways, no doubt about it. Derrick Jones had a good tip out. The ball was in Randall's hand. He tipped it out of his hand. I mean, damn, man. Get a rebound.
Sim, you know how mad I am about this game? I'm trying not to make a bigger deal of it. I'm mad for 2 reasons. I already told you my first reason. Knicks coming out and getting that bad start. I hate that. And then against a team like this where you really need to win this game, that's upsetting, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Kyrie blurb has been floating around. I love beating the Knicks.
Oh, this guy. I mean? See, here we go.
Oh, man. The Kyrie blurb was floating around. You would think that's bulletin board material for this Knicks team. Then you find out there's no Luka. So you say you got one guy to stop, and you let this dude go for 44 points? Oh, my God.
Yo, it's crazy? Like, first of all, I didn't know that was a thing. Like, that's been floating around. Because I was literally watching the game, like, yo, he loves killing us. Like my own observation. So the fact that he actually came out and said that,
he said it, and then what's going around that they've made it even worse. They put the blurb of him saying, "I love beating the Knicks," and then somebody put up the actual record of his teams versus the Knicks. We won twice. And I can't even tell you how many games. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
See that? Okay. All right. Well, you know that's something. That's
that was the
something.
same thing with Durant too, right?
Right. That's something. That's something for us
Until
to
we
take
just beat 'em.
personal. Exactly.
All right.
That's something for us to take personal. Maybe they didn't get it this game, but put it up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Put
I'm
it
just
up
mad
there.
that was before the game, though. That's been
Yeah.
kind of floating around the past 2 days. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Use that.
Yeah. The Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, were led in scoring by Julius Randle, 32 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Did have 4 turnovers. Shot well from the field, but didn't shoot too well from the three-point line. Was 2 for 7 from the three-point line. Jalen Brunson, 30 points tonight, 8 assists. Shot well from the field. Only 33% from the three-point line. And then the third scorer tonight was Dante DiVincenzo, 19 points, 7 for 13 from the field, 5 for 10 from the three-point line for Dante DiVincenzo. OG had 10 points, 4 for 10 from the field, 1 for 6 from the three-point line. After that, nobody else in double digits. Isaiah Hartenstein, 8 points and 15 rebounds. Josh Hart had 4 points, 4 rebounds. Miles McBride had 4 points. Quentin Grimes, 9 points. Precious had 7 points and 6 rebounds. I will say, though, Quentin Grimes hit a couple of big threes in the top of the fourth quarter, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting lineup at the top of the fourth quarter, too.
And he
Interesting
let Randall
lineup.
sit for a minute.
What'd you say? Yeah.
He let Randall sit for a minute.
Right. At the top of the fourth quarter, you had Miles McBride, Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, Precious, and then there was another bench player in. I can't think of who it was right now. But he had all bench players in the game. Josh Hart, Miles McBride, Quentin Grimes, Precious, or maybe it was it was OG. It wasn't all bench players. It was OG. I'm sorry. And he had OG. But still, an interesting lineup because you didn't have one of your 2 top scorers in the game. No Randall, no Jalen Brunson. And then Isaiah Hartenstein came in for Precious. So I thought that was pretty interesting. You know, I didn't know if maybe he was saying, you know, let me give OG a minute by himself out there on the floor, see what that looks like. Or maybe he just wanted a defensive lineup on the floor because, you know, we were struggling to stop Dallas from scoring. You know what I mean? So, and if you think about it, that's a defensive lineup. Miles McBride, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Quentin Grimes, Precious. Like, that's a defensive lineup. You know what I mean? And maybe that's something we're going to see more, too. It'll be interesting to see it because that is a defensive lineup. I think it did at the top of the fourth help to start chip some points away. I think. I don't know if OG, if that's when he hit his 3. Quentin Grimes hit a 3 or 2 during that time.
It wasn't until Hartenstein got put in because they brought the lead back to 19 to start the fourth quarter, like back-to-back buckets.
Yeah, I know. Deuce went back door and Hartenstein found them. You know, so that was definitely an interesting lineup. Tony, what do you think about that lineup?
I want to see it when we're up as opposed to when we're down. Like to me, that might be like the desperation lineup. You know what I mean? The nobody's
right, the defensive lineup. We can't get stops. Let's put that lineup out there on the floor.
You know what I mean? But I like the fact that it's an opportunity for Hartenstein to get some offense ran through him. You know what I mean? And even though it's been like I think it was a chance for OG to kind of be aggressive, and I didn't see it from him. Actually, I think tonight might have been his worst game as a Knick. Like
shooting wise, probably, yeah.
I mean, overall, Like,
Okay.
not just like from what I've seen from him, he just didn't seem like I seen like maybe one or two moves where I'm like, all right, he's taking initiative. But other than that, he kind of seemed even more laid back than normal.
Mm. I think that's just kind of his personality. I don't think we're gonna see him, be aggressive and try to take control of the offense or get his own shot.
I mean,
You
I
know,
mean, I don't even mean that. Like his handle looked a little bit more suspect tonight. And I don't even want to say suspect. Like he had opportunities to he just looked like he was giving the ball up a lot quicker tonight.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like usually I feel like he's giving the ball up and it's usually for an assist. Tonight it looked like he was getting rid of the ball.
Mm.
Like he didn't want the ball. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. The defense was much tougher tonight than probably the last few games that he played in with the Knicks. And at that point, if you're not sure of the offense, you're like, you know what, let me just get the ball up. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's easy to run through some things when the defense might not be as tough, you know what I mean? But when defense picks up, it's like, you know what, I'm not exactly sure. Let me see how these things go in this situation. You know what I mean? Let me just get the rock out of my hands and, give it to someone else. I'm going to take what I get, But it's definitely something to watch for. Definitely something to watch for. Ron, what did you think about that lineup and then what Tony just said?
I think Tony makes a good point. It is interesting lineup to see if we're going well. You know what I mean? But I like the ferocity of that lineup. That lineup is, and that could be a problem. It's like it's something that I feel like it's something that Tibs should really think about using at different times in the game. Maybe I mean, obviously, and this was desperation mode. Use it when you're down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Not when you're being blown out, but like if you're just down a little bit, the other team's got a lead, or even to Tony's point, if we're up and you just want to give a little taste of like my friend the Prophet, who has been on my shows in the past. He coaches and he likes to give teams like whatever. I think he says 40 minutes of hell or whatever the hell he calls it. But yeah, like it just it's a man, because they was so active, and it was like I'm like, yo man, if we could have been doing this earlier,
Right.
we would have won this game.
Yeah. We'll see. You kind of have a new team, so you're still figuring some things out, figuring out lineups,
Mhm.
figuring out when am I going
Yeah.
to put guys on the floor, when am I going to use this lineup. The thing about the lineup is, scoring. That's definitely one thing about the lineup. Who's going to score the basketball?
But see, that goes to the point, Sim, that we always talk about with Tibbs. Like you can have a vanilla offense sometimes if you got enough talent. Move the ball a little bit, do
Mhm.
certain things.
Right.
But this is why you have to put guys through practice and run different sets for them to get open. And in a situation like this, when you're running an all defensive lineup, this is when you should be setting screens for each other, back cuts and curls and stuff, just
Exactly.
continuing to move the ball.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah,
And you might
that's
have
good
a point about OG not being familiar with the offense because I was gonna say even Grimes looked aggressive in that lineup, which is one thing I did like. In
Mhm.
that lineup you was talking about,
Right.
Grimes was aggressive. You know what I mean?
He
Like,
was.
or comfortable. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's what I mean. OG didn't look comfortable tonight.
Yeah. And Grimes in that lineup was probably thinking like, oh, so I don't know who's going to score. I guess it's going to be me. You know what I mean? Somebody got to do it.
Yeah, somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do something. So I might as well take some shots. You know what I mean? Might as well take some shots. For the Mavericks tonight, Kyrie Irving led them in scoring with 44 points and 10 assists. He was hot all night long. He was killing the Knicks all night, ladies and gentlemen. All night long, he was killing the Knicks. 32 points from Tim Hardaway Jr. He loves coming at the Knicks too. And then one of the guys, I said before the game, you can't let a guy like Josh Green get 20 on you. He got 18. You know what Kyrie is going to do. You know Tim Hardaway Jr. can score too. But you let Josh Green averages 6 points per game, get 18. You know, come on. The guys that's going to get buckets, you know they're going to get buckets. Don't let Josh Green get 18 points on you. He shot 8 for 12 from the field. He was 2 for 4 from the three-point line. You know, you got to be able to take care of those guys right there. Got to be able to take care of them, man. Let's hear from Tibs real quick. And then we'll get into, some phone calls and some other things. All right, so let's take a listen to Tom Thibodeau, ladies and gentlemen, and get his take on the game.
We got on our heels. Then we had to fight the rest of the way and came down to one crucial rebound. In the last minute, we didn't get it.
Kyrie is possibly a problem all night long.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And, puts a lot of pressure on you. But our defensive transition to start the game was poor. We turned the ball over, and we put them in the open floor. And so they got some easy baskets. They got rhythm. They got confidence early. And then once a team gets going like that, it's tough to get it turned around. Now, we did fight to get out of that hole, and so that part was good. But first quarter readiness is huge in this league.
You talk all the time about not taking a team lightly if they're short-handed. Do you think that was any of it at the start?
No. The thing is, it's like, hey, this is who they are. This team is scoring a lot of points. They play fast. They shoot threes. That wasn't going to change, so they didn't change their style of play. But I think when you talk about who Kyrie is, it's, and they've surrounded him with shooting. Like Hardaway had a big night, and so that was a problem. And then, so we got to do better.
On that possession where you gave up 3 offensive rebounds, what did you think of some of them were just long rebounds, but what do you think about the way of the team?
We got to put a body on them. Like the game's on the line at that point, so the physicality of, blocking out, and, Powell made a big back tip. I believe it was Powell. But there were several, we got our hand on it, but we didn't snatch it. But you got to block out first.
What is it about Kyrie that makes him so tough when he gets cooking like this?
Oh, well, it's a combination of, he's an elite shooter, but his ability, to handle the ball in tight situations, pick and roll, shiftiness, and it pulls your defense. It's a magnet. So then you have to commit to him, but you also have to fire out and cover shooters and get your body on people so you're not giving up second shots. And I thought the rebounding was pretty good for the most part, except for that the one stretch that was the game really.
At first, it seemed a lot of frustration. The technical and Jalen kind of characteristic. What do you see there?
Yeah, just hey, look, sometimes and I understand. I don't really care if the game is called tight or if it's called loosely. I just want consistency. So there was some frustration there, but that's all part of it. We got to handle that.
All right, that was Tibs, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. Nothing he said surprised me. Regular Tibisms, I guess. Was asked some questions about Kyrie and covering Kyrie. Probably the toughest guard in the league to cover, no doubt about it. The thing about Kyrie, you haven't heard a lot about him this year. He's been out of the news. He's just kind of been in Dallas, quiet. Yeah, he's still doing his thing. He's still Kyrie Irving, though. You know what I mean? Will he have one of his moments this year? Maybe. But when he's on the court, he's still Kyrie doing his thing. Any thoughts about what Tibs said? Anything he said jump out at you? Either one, it doesn't matter. Either one.
Like you said, it's the same Tibisms. Go ahead, Ron.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's typical Tibs. Like, I'm surprised we didn't hear the typical Tibs. Well, the game's gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it, like this is. Look, I don't know, man. I was in the middle of doing a show on the Front Stoop, Simeon Russell's other channel. Please tune in.
The Stoop, yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And no doubt. I think there was some things that I might have missed. I'm watching, but I can't really, when you're doing a show, you can't really focus. So I don't know. Was there points in this game where you feel like Tibbs should have did things differently? Could he have helped the Knicks from getting into this hole, or could he have done something? Could he have gone to something quicker and sooner, and maybe that would have changed the game around? Because when I look at this game, I'm just looking at the Knicks came out with poor effort to start the game, and that was a hole they dug themselves in, and they just fought themselves out of it eventually, but it was just, too little too late.
Yeah, that's a good question. Could he have done anything in that first half? Probably not. To be honest with you, sometimes it's the player's energy, and it's not much that the coach can do. I mean, we see all the time with the Knicks and other teams, coaches grasping at straws to try to do something, and it's just not happening that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Dallas, like with Brunson, I'm sure they game planned for him extra special. You know what I mean? Like knowing his tendencies, knowing who he was, knowing what he could do, and then watching who he's become. You know what I mean? I'm sure they had it out for him tonight, even though he still ended up performing. They tried to target him early and often this game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Jamrock said, question, we see teams putting bigger defenders on Brunson to disrupt him and our offense. It affects him on some of his shots. We need another person that can initiate the offense. We do see teams putting bigger players on Brunson. If we have another guy that can initiate the offense the way that Brunson does in that lineup, now it would be a tougher defensive assignment for that particular team, right? Okay, who do I put? Because right now they look at Brunson as the head of the snake. They're trying to take Brunson out the game, force somebody else. Julius Randle can turn the ball over. Let's force Julius Randle to have to be the initiator. Dante DiVincenzo doesn't really do it. OG's not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's definitely a strategy of most teams when they come to play the Knicks. Another initiator, another ball handler, another guy that can do that would definitely help. You know what I'm saying? Because now they got to choose, okay, who do we put the ball in? Who do we defend? You know what I'm saying? Right now, we don't have it. So we got to continue to go with, the weapons that we have. You know what I mean? But I don't know if that was, it doesn't have to be the total thing that changed the game. It was part of it. But, I think, and I believe Mike Breen said it during the game, like Dallas came out and played physical. They expected the Knicks to play physical. Dallas came out and played physical, and the Knicks had to step up and match the physicality too.
The same thing with the rebounding.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Because they're not a good rebounding team. They know we are, so they you know what I mean? They single that area out. All right, we got to rebound today, guys. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying? So and with being a good team, the Knicks got to understand to always come out with their level of intensity no matter what, because some teams are going to they're going to feel like we got to step up and meet that intensity. We got to step up and match their aggressiveness. And so if you come out, and that's what happens on losing streaks. I mean, on winning streaks too. And you gotta learn how to, when you're on that winning streak, that's what that Bulls team that won like 72 games, they were good at always playing at their level of play. When you're on a winning streak, it's easy to now feel like, oh, we're just going to step out here on the floor and get it done. And then a team jumps up and starts blowing you out. And you're like, oh, wait a minute. We got to get back to business. We got to get back to basics. You know what I'm saying? Those type of losses, a lot of times it'll wake a good team, it'll wake them up. And they come out the next game and say, oh, we can't do this. Look at Dallas. They just lost to Memphis without Ja Morant. Got blown out. They come back tonight. So, no, it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So now, how does this particular Knicks team respond?
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's the question. Because, Sim, when you look at this game, I mean, I know you were reading off some of the players' lines in the box score.
Mm-hmm.
One, this is the reason why some of us have been saying that the Knicks need another player, a facilitator, ball handler, or, even if it's a player who can just flat out score, can get you a bucket when you need a bucket.
Right.
They need one more guy. And I know some fans got a little shell-shocked or scared or whatever, afraid, because then they start to think, man, this team is clicking on all cylinders. Look how good they're moving. Look how good the defense is. And so they didn't want to get somebody in here who would, become a starter and kind of affect what the starters have going on. So, I mean, and obviously the Knicks, I don't think want to do that either, but they do know that they need someone, but they're looking for somebody who can come off the bench and really help that bench unit. But you can see this is the need for it, right?
Yep.
But then outside of that, when you look at this game itself, whether or not Tibs could have did something different, I don't know. As to what Sim was saying, maybe not. But the Knicks shot 49%, almost 50% from the field. 33% from three, which is not the greatest, but in a game like this, when you shoot 50% from the field, 33% from three, you shoot 78% from the free throw line, which is a really nice number for the Knicks. You get 45 rebounds and 27 assists.
Yeah.
They could have won this game, man.
Could've
This
won the
comes
game.
down to effort. It just comes down to effort.
Comes down
Coming
to
out the
that
gate
last-
flat is just all it was, man.
Yep.
And you said 33%. I think we was 2 for 18 in the first half from three.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the Knicks
So that's
out-rebounded Dallas. They out-rebounded them 45-38. They out-rebounded them by 7. They couldn't get the key one. They couldn't get the key rebound, right? The one that mattered the most, they couldn't pull that one in. But they out-rebounded them for the game by 7. 27 assists. Like you said, 49% from the field. But Dallas shot 50% from the field. They also shot 41.5% from three, while the Knicks shot 33% from three.
Yeah, I mean that 3-point shooting from Dallas, those extra shots, extra points, make up for the difference.
Make
But
up the difference.
this is effort, man. Like it's
Yeah.
like a tale of two Knick teams right now. The second half Knick team looked like the team we saw over this 5-game win streak. That first half team looked like the team we saw when we needed to make the trade to bring OG in here.
Right.
It just,
Right.
didn't look good.
Yeah. Yeah. The Knicks made 14 threes tonight. Dallas made 17 threes. Right? 3 more threes. Dallas was 23 for 30 from the free throw line. The Knicks 22 for 78. Both teams had 44 field goals made. The Knicks took 89 attempts. Dallas took 88 attempts. It really does come down to, those effort plays at the end. Well, in the first half and also at the end, right? To get that final rebound, those effort plays. Yep, those
Let me
effort
say
plays.
this for my guy. You know what? Something tells me if a certain, big man center would have been out there, Maybe we would have got one of them rebounds.
Maybe. Maybe.
Just saying.
Maybe. Well, he might be back. That's what they're saying, right?
Mm.
I mean, that's what the NBA is saying.
They don't want to give us no money.
That's what the league is saying. We think he should be back. I don't know if, and I have questions. So number one, if we would have gotten the exception,
right?
Does that mean the league would forbid Mitchell Robinson to come back if he happened to be healthy in time? Or is it a situation where it's about expectation and the Knicks are either saying, well, it's a win, like we can't lose. Either they're gonna give it to us or they not. If he's healthy by the time it's, you know what I mean? Like that's the question that I have. Otherwise, because I feel like we could have had both. And that's the only reason the NBA would make that ruling. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would the NBA not want to give that stipulation, knowing everybody's health is different, right? Everybody's recovery is different. So we have to have had the ability to get that exception and have him come back. And they felt like, nah, we're not falling for that.
Right. Because, I mean, there's probably a time frame that the doctors are saying, he could come back. Right. And it must be close enough to the end of the season where they're like, no, there's a possibility that he can make it back this season. You know what I mean? And so I don't know if they have a stipulation that says if you get this money, he can't come back. Even if he is healthy enough, he can't come back. But my thing is, if you have that stipulation, and the Knicks know you have that stipulation,
then give it to us.
Then okay, we'll give you the money, but he can't come back. Even if he's healthy, he can't play till next year.
Yeah, put it on the team. Don't put it. Don't make the NBA make that decision. That's why I feel like it has to be where in a rare occasion you could you know what I mean, scheme the NBA into
you could try to scheme it, right?
And then your guy come back. Otherwise, why would they not give it to us?
Yeah, but then the other thing is, if that's the case, say that what you're saying, and most likely that's probably what it is, just straight black and white like that. I mean, all right, we didn't expect the player to come back. Y'all gave us the money. Why can't it just be a stipulation that if the player comes back, you guys, your team owes us the money? Like you got to come up
whatever,
with it, the following year or something. Yeah,
right.
Or it becomes a tax. You know what I mean? Like it comes on your payroll
or something.
So it might, you know what I mean? So now you got a decision to make. Like if that puts you in the apron or whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not a capologist, but if that affects you in that way, then you got to eat it. However you got to eat it.
Right.
You know
and that's right. And that's going to, with all the rules that come with being over the cap and all that kind of stuff, it's going to impact you. Yeah, it's because you would think that a team, if they're applying for, like they're asking, can we get an exception for this? So there must be some ambiguity in the rule somewhere, or else why would a team have to really ask?
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought it was weird. I thought it was weird that we announced the timeline on the injury, and then 2 days later, they applied for the thing. You know what I mean? And then they said, you know what I mean, out for the season. So it was like, so maybe the NBA looked at that as funny as I did. You know what I mean? Like, why would you apply first and then?
Right. I mean, I would think that the NBA has to they probably do after the application, they must do their own investigation. Because look how long it took from the time that they applied till we get an answer. So they must say, okay, let's look into it. Let's talk to the doctors. We got our doctors. Let's talk to the doctors, have our doctors talk to his doctors and see what it is. And then their doctors come back and say, no, he can't.
I don't even know if they could do that, right?
Who?
HIPAA laws. You can't really, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, as long as Mitch signs it, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you can do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, you know, there's probably that kind of investigation going on. You know what I'm saying? And if there was HIPAA laws, they just got to say, hey, we need you to sign this release so that we can try to get this exception. And he signs the release, and there it goes. So they have to do some kind of investigation on it. You know, and then
Makes
they
sense.
come to a determination and say, no, he can come back this season.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like it's too black and white, man. Everybody don't heal the same way. Yes, the standard healing can happen for most people, but Mitch could be a slow healer. You know, someone else could be a fast healer. And you never know.
Right. And it could be the Knicks doctors, you know, saying, hey, listen, yeah, he could come back May 31st. He could be back by that date. But we think it's best, given his history, given this, given that, we think it's best that he take this time for it to really heal properly. So we're asking for this exception. You know what I'm saying? It could be something like that. And so now the NBA says, well, okay, we're going to take it all into consideration and then make a determination. You know, something like that. Yeah, that's, you know, it's crazy. You know, Jam Rock said, what? He said, wait a minute, that injury exception they would apply for would allow the Knicks to trade for a player making $7 million to $10 million a season. How would that work if Mitch came back? I don't know.
I
don't know. I
if
mean, the Knicks would just
affect
have
the
to,
cap or not. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it would be up to the Knicks to now, you know, make a smart decision with it. Do we get someone who we're only paying for a year? Do we trade for someone we're only paying for this year?
Be a year.
You know what I'm saying?
Or
Or what? You know what I mean?
It has to be an expiring contract.
Right.
So they wouldn't be on the books after this year.
After this year. So there you go. So they would just pay for it for this year. You know? Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. I mean, at this point, if it's best for him to wait, just wait. Ain't no sense in trying to rush it back. He's already injury prone.
Do you think this puts pressure on him to come back?
I think the Knicks can alleviate all that pressure and just say, "Don't worry about it."
I agree. I'm talking about Mitch himself.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I don't mean the Knicks pressuring him. I don't think they would.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think that the Knicks can take the pressure away from Mitch by telling him, like, don't even worry about it. Don't do anything extra. Just heal. You know what I'm saying? Your spot is here. You know?
Problem with Mitch is I feel like you know, he's a social media magnet.
Yeah.
Like he pays attention. He's up on everything. And from what I saw that he posted the other day, which I don't know if you guys talked about that or not in the past. I mean, he's kind of going through it right now mentally. He's struggling with being hurt and being away from the team.
Right.
And he's also watching his, how do you want to call it? Let's just say for these purposes, his backup, his understudy get busy out there to the point where other people are now saying, we no longer need you, Mitch. Like it's wild. It's got to be a mix, a lot of emotions for a young man to go through. And you already know Mitch has gone through a lot of stuff he's dealt with. So this is tough for him, man. I feel bad for him, to be honest.
And this is just the regular season. Can you imagine? Like, he don't want to miss the playoffs.
Nah, he don't.
Like, he don't want to miss a playoff. You know what I mean? So if he feel like he could come back, I feel like this puts pressure on him to come back.
Yeah.
But
like what Craig said. Yeah. He said, guys, do you really think that way? iHeart is playing. You don't think he's worried about his boy taking his spot? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Mitch, no doubt about it. Mitch is in social media. He sees everything that people are saying. And he understands that iHeart is balling. And some people are starting to forget who Mitchell Robinson is to this team. And they're like, yeah, it's time to move on, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely people saying that. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely people saying that. you know, and I know Mitchell was really bothered when he went out. When he first went out, I know he was really bothered by some of the social media, some of the posts that he made, but you know what I mean. I still do think the Knicks can alleviate it by just assuring him, "You're coming back. We got you." You know what I'm saying? Just get healthy. Now, of course, he can believe it or not believe it, because if a trade comes along and they say, "Yeah, we'll take Mitch even though he's hurt," obviously they'll make the move if it's the right move.
And then that's another thing, Sim. Like, even if you want to say, I mean, because he's already told us, no other players did that, told us how loyal he is to the team and that they've been loyal to him and he respects them and all this stuff. You get injured, iHeart's taking your starting minutes, he's balling, and then you witness like the first big trade you've ever seen of young pups that were on the team, like IQ and RJ gone.
Gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll scare you a little bit.
And he's the longest tenured Nick at, you know what I mean?
He's the long, yeah.
Prior to the move, but you know what I mean? Like, he's still the longest tenured Nick, so he done seen everything, you know what I mean? So accept it, accept the young pups get traded.
Yeah. And the team's gonna be different when he comes back. I'm sure he's, friends with those guys. Team's gonna be different when he comes back.
Because I think they should I know you said assure him of his spot. I think they should at least bring him back though, and let him be with the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kind of build some build his spirit up, get that. You know what I mean? I know that might still be hard to sit there and not be able to get in the game, but at least you could talk to these guys, you know what I mean? Give advice and soak things in.
I mean, even if he's not in uniform, but he's healthy enough to be on the road, just be with the team. You know what I'm saying? He should be out there. He should be with the team. That definitely helps to build. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony's saying, give advice, be with the guys, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? That assures you. That helps to assure you of, your spot and all of that stuff. Helps to assure you.
Yeah, and a lot of people saying how he is injury prone. I mean, we know that. I mean, Mitch has had a history of injuries. He actually has done pretty well for himself as far as staying healthy the past 2 years. But this is a bad one, and it stinks. But let's not forget, man. I'm telling you, we're so quick to forget. And I'm not saying he's better than iHeart. iHeart all around might be better than Mitch, but without Mitchell Robinson, do we convincingly get past the Cavaliers in that first round of the playoffs? I don't know. Mitch was getting busy.
Yeah, Mitch was doing his thing. Mitch, no doubt about it. Mitch was hooping, man. He was doing his thing out there.
And Allen looked like he took it personal. Allen got a little bit stronger. You know what I mean? He looking like he worked on the game a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he had some comments after the game that, you know what I mean, a lot of people made fun of. You know what I mean? They got memes of him talking about he looked confused out there, or he didn't know what to do out there.
Yeah. Did you guys read that letter from IQ?
I'm still reading it.
I did.
Really nice, man. Really nice.
Yeah, it was a really nice letter. It was kind of sad too. Made you want to shed a tear. He said he was in the locker room when he went around and did a special handshake with everybody. It was kind of sad. It's like, dang, I've been with this team. He's what he said. He seen Johnny Bryant. And that's when it really hit him, like, it's the last time I'm going to see this guy. It was a little bit sad.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a little bit sad. It's a great letter, great stories in it and all of that stuff, but it was a little bit sad.
I
wouldn't be surprised in the future to see him back in New York.
It wouldn't surprise me either. I think he loved his time here, and it's close to home, not too far from home,
right?
And all that good stuff. I just think I'm just waiting on the RJ letter, to be honest, because I know they're trying to stagger it. RJ's not trying to take quickly shine or whatever. They both want to have their moment. Because I think a lot of Knicks fans were a little hurt that both these guys are gone and they haven't said anything, but it's still fresh. I mean, when you think about it, it hasn't been that long. Got to give time for guys to get acclimated.
And they got games to play.
Yeah.
They got lives. They got lives to adjust.
Right. I mean, imagine the traveling, going to a new city, getting to know new teammates, get whatever practices you're sneaking, and you got to play ball. And they've been playing, pretty regularly over there. Well, I'm just still wondering when the hell they quickly have time to get all that down.
and that's what I was gonna say. I would expect Quickly's response before RJ's. RJ going home. He probably got welcome home parties and
yeah.
You know what I mean, meeting up with friends and family and you know what I mean, got the whole country support. You know what I mean? So I think it's a little bit different for RJ. We might not get nothing until the summertime or the next game. I mean, you might get it at the game.
Yeah,
game they play us.
Yeah, I think we might get it, but sometime before that game. You know what I mean? If he, I mean, I know he, he, I don't know if they asked him or what, but he said, that he was part of building something in New York and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But he hadn't really spoke or said anything to the fans the way IQ just did. So that was real nice. That was real nice. I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in New York at some point. You know what I mean?
RJ might be mad at the fans.
RJ might be mad. Yeah, RJ might feel like, I'm gonna be a nemesis in their side for the rest of my career. He might feel like that. I don't know.
Man, Knicks 100 really can't stand IQ. I don't know what he did to you, man. You really don't like IQ. You don't like nobody to talk about IQ. Like, what? Listen, man, IQ was a part of this team. We appreciated the time he spent here, and if it wasn't for the fact that he was coming up on a contract, he would still be a Knick.
Right.
That don't make it sound no better. That actually makes it sound worse. Like,
I mean, we just don't got the money to pay that.
He'd still be here.
Yeah. I mean,
it's tough.
I don't know. I don't know why he's so mad at IQ. He just wrote a letter.
Oh, he said it. He stunted our growth. Okay.
IQ stunted the Knicks' growth?
That's what he said.
Okay.
I think he was our growth.
I think he was part of the growth of this team.
Yeah, he was part of our future, basically.
I mean, look what Jamrock is saying right here. This is a game where I think Quickly would have hit some big threes, and maybe we win the basketball game. I mean, we were just talking about that other ball handler. Quickly probably, Quickly's another guy that's a ball handler, and when he was on the court with Brunson, it was effective. Very effective.
And Quickly's the type of player that defensive unit that was out there Quickly could have been a part of that defensive unit and gave us the extra scoring. So
yeah,
that's why. I mean, say what you will about Quickly. I get mad at him sometimes because I feel like he's a gunner. Sometimes he never met a shot he didn't like, but I can't deny that the guy has improved on his defense and he's hit some big shots for the Knicks and he's been a stable scoring option for 15 points a night.
Right.
So that's what it is.
Yeah. And then Greg back, chimes in and says that RJ stunted our growth. I mean,
he stunted our spacing, but
but RJ was part of the growth too. I ain't even trying to hate on RJ or IQ. You know what I mean? RJ was part of the growth too. It's just in order to grow more, you needed something else. But he was still, I think, part of the growth. You know what I mean? Some of y'all sound like mad, jealous exes. Getting mad with these two guys. Come on, man. Sound like,
you know what I'm thinking? I'm just thinking, imagine somebody is Dallas and doing a losers lounge. They could just go to this chat and they
It get right.
That's what I was telling Sim. when we lose, it is the loser's life. So
Yeah.
it's a whole different feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man, the Knicks, ladies and gentlemen, could not bring in that one rebound. This is my key play tonight. Bottom line, that's my key play tonight right there. You see it. 121 to 120 with a minute remaining. They send a double team at Kyrie. Gets the ball to Derrick Jones Jr., who kicks it out to that Josh Green dude. Tim Hardaway clanks it off the side of the backboard. The Knicks can't get the rebound. Tim Hardaway, another miss. Then they tap it back out with 37 seconds left, ladies and gentlemen. The Knicks not having good showings in Dallas. It's just not happening. And then Josh Green, that's Josh Green, right? Knocks down the three that basically seals the win. Josh Green, this guy, in that one play, scored half of what he averages for the season. But we let this man get 18 points.
That's not Randall's rotation, right? Or is it?
I don't know which rotation you're talking about.
The green shot. At that point,
the final green shot, that final
one
green shot there. Well, let me see. I'm looking at it right
the
now.
final shot.
You have Derrick Jones Jr. under the basket, now in the corner. I mean,
Hartenstein should be that.
I mean, you know, it should have been whoever was helping off of him.
Should be Randall.
Whoever was helping off of him should have recovered, and then Randall had to come because he had Derrick Jones Jr. in the corner. You know what I mean? So
even,
you know,
Brunson, I guess.
You know, I think DiVincenzo is the one who helped off of him.
Nah,
right? It's about to come around. Let me see. DiVincenzo is on Kyrie, Josh Green. So Hartenstein is. Let me see. Josh Green comes from. I think. I don't even know where he came from. Randall basically had two over there. Randall had two.
He was in the crowd.
He was in the crowd, came out of nowhere. Randall had two over there. I don't even know who was supposed to be guarding Josh Green at that time. You know, that probably should have been Brunson's guy, but Brunson ended up on Derrick. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who was supposed to be guarding him at that time. But anyway, my man Cody hit me with the Cash App, and I hate to do it to you, Cody, but yeah, actually, you're the sponsor of this Cash App Money Play of the Game, even though it goes against the Knicks. You're the sponsor of it tonight, but, you know, he said, Kyrie is a dirtbag. Let's go Knicks. That's the reason why you're the sponsor of it, Cody. That's the reason why.
Oh, man.
That's the reason why.
Out of all people, I can't stand Kyrie Irving, man. I cannot. Oh, man, out of all people. And then the other thing, the last two times we played Dallas, we let these guys, these singular players, put up ridiculous numbers against us. What are we doing?
Yeah. Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you support the channel. Cash App is $, nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. It's in the description of the video, and it's also tagged to the top of your YouTube chat. And I'm about to put it in the chat once again, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go ahead and support that channel. I definitely appreciate it. Any other key decisions or anything like that you can think of or that you feel like really impacted this basketball game, just besides the Knicks playing, you know, lazy, sloppy basketball in the first half?
I mean, that was it, and that was it. We could have capped off a great comeback with a rebound and a basket, and I think they would have folded at that point. You know what I mean? Like 3 opportunities, one of them horrible shot, and then 2 wide open looks.
Yeah.
It's just the basketball guys trying to tell the Knicks and any other team out there, can't take off for a quarter. You can't do it. If you see, I looked at it. I'm glad you rewound it a couple times. Looking at that rebound play where we couldn't get that rebound off of 3 different possessions or whatever, in the
deflating.
third possession, the Knicks were in great position to get a rebound. Like I'm looking at, they're everywhere. Oh my God, bro.
Ah, boy.
I don't know.
Tough loss, man. Tough loss. There's really no player of the game for the Knicks tonight. If there's a player of the game, I guess it would be Kyrie Irving for the Mavs. He would be the player of the game.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
But, so the Knicks don't
We not
have a
doing
player
that.
of the game.
I'm going with Randall.
Randall kept the Knicks there. There's no doubt about it. What he scored? 20 points in the third quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Yeah, scored 20 in the third. But the Knicks just couldn't they couldn't do it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They couldn't do it tonight. Really wanted to get this win. They couldn't do it tonight. Now, who's next? Who's next? Do
We
they
play Saturday. I don't know who we
Saturday? Is it another road game?
play. Uh-huh. Is it the Nets?
I'm pulling it up right now.
It's
The
the
Grizzlies.
Memphis
That's right. It's the
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah,
It's the
Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah,
In Memphis.
in Memphis. In
Yeah.
Memphis.
I can't. I was starting to think that was a win too, but I can't. Let's see.
Well, I think after
Right.
this game, they're gonna come out with a better intensity.
Yeah, I think
I
so
agree.
too. I think so too. This team is always they learn, and I agree. I think they'll come out with more intensity, and want to get this one back.
But if I want to be the devil's advocate and find the positive in this,
Mm-hmm.
I do like the fact that, yes, the Knicks had to scrounge and fight and hustle like mad in that fourth quarter to try to get back into this game, but they were doing it.
They were
And it
doing
looked
it.
like some Knick magic there. So
Yeah.
that's just one of those things where you think, like, what do the Knicks do with adversity? Like, if this
Yeah.
was playoff basketball, I'd be like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
It's nice to fight that way.
And they
But
just didn't
but
stop.
the good teams will do that when they're not down.
Mhm.
Can they do that? Can they do that when they're not down? You know what I mean? Can they play like they down? What Clyde always say?
Yeah.
Yo, the Knicks, they got to get down to get up.
Right.
Like, nah.
Right.
like let's, you know what I mean? Let's play like we down from the first
Yeah.
quarter.
Yeah. Because if you do that, you play with that kind of intensity from
You
the
take people
tip.
right
you
out the
take
game.
people out the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And you can't tell me nothing, man. I'm telling you, I know that the Knicks saw this game on the bulletin board. They were like, yeah, they were excited for this game. I'm sure Brunson was excited for it. Julius loves Dallas, homecoming, all that good stuff. When they found out Luka was not going to be playing, they had, we got this one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what happens. That's what and you've been on a winning streak. That's what happens. You know what I'm saying? And maybe this is just one of those lessons. Next time they get on a winning streak, they're on a 5-game winning streak, they're gonna know, all right, let's not read the headlines. Let's not hear, people say, we're the hottest team in the East and we're this. Let's go out. Let's do what got us here. You know what I mean? Let's go out there and do what got us here and try to extend this winning streak or whatever it is. But sometimes you got to take these type of bumps in order to learn for later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what we do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna head up out of here. Knicks take the loss tonight. Hopefully we can
Losing
get
is
it
what
back.
got us here.
Losing is what got us here. Hopefully we can get it back against Memphis. Let's not turn this into a losing streak. That's it right there. Right, that's the key. Let's not turn this into a losing streak. All right, we won 5 straight. We lost 1. Now let's go back
5 more.
and win 5 more. You know what I'm saying?
And actually, the schedule permits it. I mean, if the Knicks lock in, they can get 5 more.
Exactly. Well, Ron, Tony, thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Gonna get up out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.